Good afternoon. Great to be here. Obviously, that means it's football time, the spring ball or fall camp. Just want to have an opportunity just to talk about what I'm seeing from my guys mainly. I think right now the main thing that I'm seeing is that our guys, they care about this university, they care about football. They're competing and they're working hard. I think that's the most important thing that I can say right now. Until guys have some questions, we can go a little bit deeper if you want to.
Clayton, is there one position or a group that you're keeping your eye on specifically this spring to say this group has to take the biggest jump?
I would say, for us defensively, we always striving for perfection and fall short. You still got some greatness right there. We feel like each position group, really, to be honest with you, linebackers did the most experienced group coming back, but we're still challenging those guys every single day. The defensive backs have a lot of guys, some new faces, some young guys who redshirted last year or some guys who didn't play as much. The D-tackle room is the most that we've had from a numerical standpoint. Some new faces. In the ends, we're a little short right now, but we feel like those guys are getting the opportunity to showcase what they can do. And I think that's important that they're getting coached by Coach Barnes and Coach Hubbard. Those guys are doing a good job. And, I'm getting there every chance I can to coach some ends myself.
I know Coach Beamer said that, Dylan would come into spring limited through, I guess, 2 weeks. Is he going to be able to start doing more and more this week and going throughout this month?
I mean, he's still on a process trying to get back. It's all about him being comfortable and then just whatever our doctors say he can do, that's what he's going to do. I wish I can be the one that says get out there and get something done, but that's not why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So, but our administration and our medical staff will take care of all that stuff. But we'd love to have him out there.
I'm guessing it's probably a little weird not having DQ out there at safety for you, but I guess Peyton being the next most experienced guy or the most experienced guy coming back, who is it? Just everybody who's kind of working in with them, or how's that rotation going? So
hell's trying to trigger my emotions. But yes, DQ definitely one of my favorites of all time. From just being a former quarterback in high school here, and then he's basically been coaches. I've been here with them all 4 years. So Peyton is definitely the new voice back there. Peyton is not as vocal as DQ, but he's smart as just like DQ. But I feel like Peyton will have to raise his voice a little bit more, which I kind of put him in those situations to make sure that he does. Anytime that a player behind him makes a mistake or doesn't make the right check, I look at Peyton and say, that's on you. That's not on Coach Gray. That's not on myself. So I'm kind of putting some more stuff on Peyton in regards to just and he looks at me like, you know what, you're right. That is on me. So I do like that part. I'm excited. He's Mr. Consistent. He's always been that way, and just continue excited about what he's going to do this spring and just bringing guys along with him, beside him, and behind him.
You mentioned Coach Barnes. Kind of through the process of bringing him in, what stood out about him, and through these first few weeks here, how's he kind of hit the ground running that you've seen in that room?
It's a good little story. Which is probably not the time or place to go through the entire story how we got him here, but it all started from going to go watch Fred Johnson play his senior year in 2023. And then his DC at the time was my GA my senior year in college, was Manny Diaz. So I asked a couple questions about their defense, and then come to find out, we ended up changing some things from 23 from that conversation with Dion, and we did that in 24 with our defensive ends. But he's been great. So obviously now he's here. Like I said, I got to cut out some of the story. We'd be here all day. But now he's here, and I think that when it opened up, it was a few names, and I had to sit back and really think about some guys that I met, and I really felt like he was a home run for us at the situation that we have. He's been great. He's learning our calls. He's learning our defense. He's learning our players. He's learning our program. He loves it down here, which especially this time of the year. He's going to find out tomorrow why it's called the South, and we're different. It's going to be cold tomorrow, but he's enjoying it. I think he's embracing it. I think the staff likes him. It's been a great fit. Just excited to see what happens as we get more and more deep into this thing and more down the road.
It kind of flew under the radar of you guys bringing in Dre Bly. What's been your relationship with him over the last, I guess, 30-something years now? I know, sorry. And what do you kind of envision his role to be on the staff?
Dre, it's funny, like I still visually remember me and Dre at UNC's football camp, like 1995. Like he played it, Carolina ball against each other, whatever you want to call it. Then he went to college, obviously up the road, and then he's really good friends with Torrey Holt and Terrence Holt, who I'm really cool with. I played with both of those guys, and so we've always stayed in contact. Dre started coaching about 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago, and I kind of reached out to him, just if you need anything, love to be a sponge for you from a coaching standpoint, let you know how this college football thing works because it's different than what you think as a player. And then from there, we just stayed in contact. He visited us 2 years ago here in between jobs. You know, to me, I think of Dre Bly as a highly decorated football player, but now he's a really good football coach. He's smart. He's very knowledgeable, experienced. You know, me and T. Gray kind of an old school. He still got some. He can bring a little bit of youth, even though he's older than us. But he brings some. I think of Dre Bly as the wristbands, the swag, the long white T-shirts, the Nikes, the M1s, and all that stuff. So we might have a little bit more swag in the defensive backfield with Dre here, but he's not that's not who he is now. You know what I mean? It's just different when you get to know someone from on this side of the fence, in regards of just a coach and just a person. Excited to have him. His role will probably be very similar to just some helping the defensive backs where needed for Coach Gray and Coach Foster and all those guys, Coach Day and Coach Luke Doty, and all those guys wherever they need help at. But he brings a ton of experience. But he's going to help us on the pre-scouting, pre-week stuff, like game planning stuff and all that kind of stuff. So big role for him. I'm excited.
With Quayshie Scott coming in to compete at that nickel spot, how does he compare to Jalen and Nick from previous years, or is he just completely different?
Mr. Trigger, man. He's triggering old names again. Those guys are hard to compare to. Those two guys are on a different shelf. You know, when you go to the store, there's different shelves. Like they're on a different shelf. So, but Quayshie has his own superpower. He's a fast, quick, physical player. Love how he's picking up our defense. He's playing the nickel hole, and I think he's gonna learn some other stuff this summer. Right now, he's focused on the nickel slot where Jalen played at. But I do think he's gonna bring a lot to this defense from blitzing, tackling, ability to roam around, and just as we get more into more of this spring ball, I have a better feel on what we're gonna look like far as package-wise and who's gonna be on the field and where they're gonna be at. But it's fun when you have the options and people like that can do multiple things. It makes my job a little bit more fun.
Clayton, you mentioned how thin you are in the edge room right now. Are you guys at the point where you have to look at a couple of D tackles and say we might have to maybe move you over? Is that something that are stressed in the summer?
It'll be more of a management, more of a right now we really can't because some of those guys came in here and you got to put on weight to play D tackle in this league. So it's like if you're 275, I really need you 287, 289. But we have some guys that can do it. If we get into that pinch right now, I think we just got to get some guys back. I think we'll be in a good spot. We may have to find another body here or there, but for the most part, right now we just got to keep our nose down and kind of keep working forward. But we understand some things we got to do with the roster wise, and I know our guys get that done.
What are your first impressions of Julian Walker and Xavier Currents, and do you feel like those guys possibly can put themselves in a position to play right away?
Yes, two different positions, two different dudes. Obviously, really great statures, great frames. You guys had Julian; he went viral, didn't he? So I couldn't open my phone out seeing a picture of Julian Walker. But nah, he's a great kid. He's learning everything. Coach Barnes is that's a great fit with those two from a development standpoint, and just personality matches. I think that's strong always if you can get that personality match. I love what I've seen. Like he sets the edge and he understands what a defensive end is supposed to do in regards of setting the edge and when to play the quarterback, when to play the dive, and when to rush and when to contain. So I think that's good that when some of those steps are already skipped. So now you can kind of get to, as Coach Gray would say, instead of ABCs, you got to get your DEFs. So in XYZs. So we can kind of go DEF right now with both of those guys because they got the ABCs down, which that's part of recruiting and understanding what you're getting. If you have to start at A at this level, you're probably going to be behind. So we like those guys where we can start on the middle of the alphabet.
I was going to ask about Julian, but I'll ask about the defensive tackles instead. You lost a couple of guys in there. I won't invoke any names and inspire emotions from you. But you lost a few guys in there. You got a couple of returns, but a lot of new faces too. How have those guys, particularly Jordan Thomas, kind of fit in, and what have you seen?
The good thing that we can show our guys from the past couple of years is it's your turn to step up. Like last year we had Nick Barrett, Monkel, they stepped up after Tonka and TJ left. That seemed like so long ago, but guys had to step up. Zach Pickens left, TJ, Tonka stepped up, and we just now it's their turn. Tommy Wah, those guys are strong in the middle, they're smart. They understand what's going on, and they're veterans. I thought that was important to get some older guys up front, just from experience playing this league. So we got Tommy Wah's fifth-year guy. Kelby's a fourth or fifth-year guy, but he has experience at 2 other schools. And we got JT as a young guy, so we not have to keep bringing in 3 guys. JT was someone we recruited. We like him. He's strong. He can move. He's doing a really good job, so we just got to keep developing him. But love how that group is looking in regards of just the new faces. Then you have Aiden as well, who had a nice little pass rush move the other day. So you never know. But it's a good group.
What questions have NFL teams asked you about Brandon Cisse, and what are your kind of favorite stories of being around him for a year?
Yes, a lot of teams have called about Brandon Cisse. I think the main thing is, can he play nickel? Can he play, what is he like in the classroom? And, he's one of the top-end guys when it comes to football IQ. He's one of the few corners that can probably talk about all 11 guys, all 22 guys on the football field naturally and not sound like it's forced. So not many guys can actually do that at this level and talk scheme. And so he's high-end, high IQ. I think the next thing they ask is, how tough is he? What is he like? Is he a man guy? Is he a zone guy? Just traditional questions, which they just trying to see if I'm going to tell the truth because they already watched the tape. So just being honest with guys. So I've been around this thing for a long time. I mean, the answer's on the tape. So, but they want to know what kind of person he is. What is he like in the meeting room? And on all the things they're hearing, is that true? And how consistent is that going to go around? So I think that's the main thing. But favorite stories about Brandon, I would say just the whole NC State connection that we always talked about. We know a lot of people back and forth in Raleigh, and his recruiting story is pretty. He tried to get on us because we didn't recruit him, we didn't like him, we didn't think he was big enough. So, and the strength coach at NC State is my former teammate, so it's like we always had that little back and forth. But he's been great. The recruiting process with him was awesome. I'm glad we had him.
With your linebacker group, you got the top 3 guys back, obviously. What's it looking like after them? And I know you got plenty of time to get that sorted out, but what's sort of your expectation?
It's development. It's fun. It is fun because those guys, they know me and T-Money can't say anything. They know exactly what we're going to say next between Sean, J.O., and Fred. It's kind of crazy, but they know exactly what we're going to say. But it's fun watching those other guys between Josh and AJ, Keenan. Now I'm going to leave somebody out. Andrew, Risher. There we go. Good. So it's very important for those guys to get a good, and Donovan, for those guys to get a good feel on how we coach. And just, now this is their second year. They've heard everything twice now, spring, summer, and then again in the fall. So it's been a 4th time really hearing this stuff. So it's just fun watching them now trying to repeat what those guys are up to when it comes to just knowing the knowledge and playing football and watching those guys on tape. I think it's going to help them. But they're doing a really good job. They're doing a lot better than they have been. They seem way more comfortable, which I think that's important. We need the more the better in every single room in this conference.
Yeah, one player I wanted to ask about specifically, Kendall Daniels. Mm-hmm. He was one of those freshmen who played a lot on special teams and a little bit on defense too. What's important for him this spring, and do you feel like he's a guy who's close to taking a next step and playing however many snaps next year, a bunch of snaps next year?
Yeah. KD has to be a guy that has to take the next step. You're 6'3 plus, 215-pound plus safety who can play, understands a lot about football. It's just everybody, when it's your second year, you can't take it the same pace that you took it last year. You got to step it up. So I think when they see a David Boosie who's in his 3rd year take another step between year 2 and 3, and it's like, okay, I need to pick it up. So I think that's important for those guys to recognize that, have self-awareness, and just understand, I have the talent, I got the coaches, we have the system. Let's just, make sure our goals and stuff are on the same page, and let's make sure we maximize everything we have.
Do you have any predictions for your guys for Pro Day tomorrow?
Not really. I just hope they go out and, have fun with it, be relaxed, don't be uptight, put on the show. I think this is a very important day for them, just to get really up close to the scouts and up close to the coaches and just be yourself, show your personality, and, don't overdo it mentally. But prediction-wise, I hope Brandon Cisse runs a sub 4.4. He should. I'm not sure who else is running, but hope those guys have a great day, catch the football, and look like a dude.
And Vicari and Judge have all obviously played a ton, and I guess DeMarcus and Lewis kind of behind him. How's
Yep.
that sort of depth coming along at
It's-
cornerback?
It's been great. Like I said, that's a good group. Those guys have been around here for a while, and they understand our standards. They understand what we're trying to do defensively in regards of just our mission, our goals is to limit points and get the ball back to the offense quick as we can, either through turnovers on third down or fourth down stops. I mean, they kind of brought up a little bit. They want to be the first defense to one of the best defense in regards of points per game from 20 points and below. It was 19 and 24. It was 20 last year with 22 on paper. Some unfortunate things happen. They make that number go up higher, up to 22. But they know in here that it was 20 points a game last year because we talked about it every single Sunday. So they want to be 3 straight years of 20 points or less. It'll be like the first time since 11, 12, and 13. So that's the leadership part that I think that we're starting to get from our guys. They're starting to recognize those kind of things, and they kind of want to set the bar really high. So I think that's important. But I'm excited about those guys. Between Lewis taking another step, between Leach taking another step, just watching those guys develop, it's been great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Yep.